What's happening, guys? How you doing? Hope today is a good day. Need you guys to like, share, subscribe, all of that. Leave a comment below of the content you would like. But the plan today is mobility, stretching and mobility. I'll try and get something done 2-3 days a week. It's critical for prevention of injuries, increasing your lifts, increasing your numbers. But yeah, it's something that's a big part of my training. And I've always said, within reason, I don't mind how big I get, as long as I can tie up my shoelaces and wipe my own ass. You might laugh, but there's guys out there that can't even touch their toes. Guys in the gym that are with me about my size, they can't touch their toes. They can't touch their toes. I don't get that, to be honest, personally. And I can't hit depth on a squat. They're useless. They look the part, but they're no part. But so yeah, I'm gonna get into my mobility in a minute. Catch you guys in a bit. So the plan is, guys, I'm gonna try and do 2 stretches for every area. Some of them I might only be able to do 1, lack of knowledge and whatnot, but most of them are gonna be 2 stretches. I recommend 2. Hey, JK, you're gonna be on the phone. I'm gonna be on YouTube. Kaki, you're dribbling. Oh, why not? What's this? You gave me loads of subscribers. Look at the camera. What's this? No. Kaki. Who's this? What's this? What's this? Get me loads of subscribers. She's like a therapy dog. You couldn't be sad around her or angry around her. Look at her. Look at her. She's so yummy. She normally helps me stretch anyway, so you'll see her at some point anyway. You're going to help me stretch. So I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. So the bottom is the Achilles. You can do like plantar fascia and go mad like that. But this is just general stretching and mobility for the body. But yeah, so for Achilles, I like to use a wall. Put my knee into the wall, and I like to drive my heel to the floor. And most stretches you want to hold for 10 seconds. So you want to, this is for me, and this is just a rough idea. You long deep breath, so that's 1. You do that 10 times, and give or take, it's about 30 seconds. Breathing is the most important thing, because if you stretch too deeply, your breathing will go out of sync if it's too uncomfortable. But if you can stretch really deep and still breathe correctly, so obviously after time you can stretch really deep and it's uncomfortable, where you can control your breathing. Same with cold stuff, with your cold water stuff, cold showers. We'll get into that, that's a later video. Your breathing needs to be under control. If you've got your breathing under control and your body's relaxed and your body's calm, then everything's good. So you want to do both, obviously both legs. I can't really do them, my ankles are fucked, my both ankles are shot. So yeah, there's your Achilles, calves. Let's get on all 4s, and then you drive my heels to the floor, and you walk your hands out or walk your feet back. And you want to basically keep touching the floor with your heels and go back as far as you can. You want to keep your heels on the floor the whole time. You want to actively drive your heels to the floor, because that's going to actively stretch your gastrocnemius. So there's 1 for your calves. Obviously another one, just lift your toe up. Again, you can do both feet. So we work up the hamstrings. You want to disengage your hips. You don't want to bend over. You want to disengage your hips. So you want to kind of give yourself a posterior pelvic tilt. You want to rotate your hips, so disengaging your hips like you're going to deadlift. You want to straighten your knees as much as you can. Again, 30 seconds. Another one I do like to do, it's not solely your hamstrings, it's your posterior chain. So I like to walk forward, so I get my ass out completely. Again, you want that to create the effect of like an anterior pelvic tilt, which I don't have a problem with. I'm badly anterior pelvic tilted, so I've got like a fat ass. And then you just want to lay into it. Again, hold it for 30 seconds. And I like this one as well because it's a multiple muscle stretch, so you'll find different weaknesses as you go on. So there'll be stretches that you do which are supposed to be for your quad or whatever, and you might feel in your hip. Like there's one I'm going to do in a minute, but that's because I've got tightness in my hip. So, and after a period of time, you learn to pay more attention to the tight areas, and you can go a lot easier on the loose areas if they're naturally loose or whatever. You just got to work, same as weight training, you've got to work out what's best for you and what works for you. So yeah, there's another one for your hamstrings. I'm not going to do your standard quad stretch because that one, everyone knows that one. I like doing this one. Again, it's great for your BJJ. You just want to sit back on your heels and obviously just lean back the further, more comfortable. My quads are very tight. Again, that hurts my ankles, but this is what it is. There's one quad stretch. And the other one, you want to mobilise your hips. I'll go through that in a minute. I should have gone through that at the beginning, but anyways. So you want to bring your front leg in. And let me do my mobilising my hips first. So you want to swing up as high as you can at the front and then push all the way as far as you can back. You want to do that 10 times. And then you want to go to the side. You want to drive your heel up. Same on that side. So we're going to go away from hips quickly. Quads quickly, just because they fall in nicely to each other. So this, for me, it hits a groin because my groin's fairly tight, but more so my hip, real bad on the hip. We can lean over. Some guys might feel it in the hamstring. My hips are so bad. And then from here, you bring your lead leg round, and you want it sort of closer to your bum as you can. You need to get a bit forward. And you want to drop to the opposite shoulder to where your feet are facing. And again, just go real slowly, keep your knee on the floor. Hold that for 30 seconds, you should feel it in your hip. But me, predominantly in the quad. And then the same on the other side. My hips are so bad. You want to lean over. Feeling a little bit of my hip area. Up here, bit, probably, I don't know if it is. Again, same position. Bring your knee back. And you're going to drop. Keep pushing your knee down. And then we're going to start working up to the groin, and then we'll go hips. I just like doing groin first. Just like a standard splits. And then I like to lean on something. Put my feet in as far as they can go, and we'll just push down on your knees, stretching out your groin. And most stretches you can do this. I call it PNF. It's called PNF, but I don't know what it stands for. So you inhale deeply, and on the exhale you want to push down more. And again, most of these stretches are 30 seconds. There's a couple of stretches that I want 30 seconds, and I run that over with you when I get to them. So there are your two groin stretches. Now we're going to move over to the hips, which might not awful. These fingers are too short. right angle out in front of you. Then you want to bring Coco. Hey baby, hey baby, do you want to come here? Do you want to come here, my baby? Thank you. She likes having me stretch. And you want to straighten your rear leg, because the straight your rear leg is, the more it's going to stretch this hip. This hip is what we're working on. But the straighter you have your rear leg, the more it stretches your hip. You'll start getting used to it at some point. Coco, can you come here, please? I drive my big toe on the floor and I use it to pivot. Coco, do you want to sit? Good girl. Then you can lean over it to make it more intense. You're not going to let me stretch, are you? My little baby, you're not going to let me stretch. My little baby pooch. And then same on the other side. If you can see. Lean over it. And probably see the whole woman a bit. Pull my leg up as much. It gets harder the straighter you have your back. Anyway, you pull your foot into your bum as much as you can. Lift your foot over the top and push down. And then same on the other leg. And then what we can do, I think this is what we call child pose. Sit here for a few minutes, well not minutes, for a few seconds. You can look at that and the shoulder a bit. We'll do the lower back now. There's two we'll do for the lower back. You just get this in 30 seconds. On the exhale, you'll push up as much as you can. And I squeeze my glutes. There's not much benefit to me. And then there's another one which will stretch your chest a bit as well. The aim is to get that knee to the floor and get this arm to the floor. Stretches out your chest all around here and your lower back. I quite often get a click in my lower back, but not today. You're trying to help me, aren't you? Oh my baby Millie. You're talking to me? What are you saying? What are you saying? Oh, what do you want? You want to play, don't you? You'll be dribbly, aren't you? You're dribbly, aren't you? Done quads, done hamstrings. Glutes, hamstrings are going to be stretching together, especially for the hip stuff. We'll be working up to lower, sort of mid back, thoracic spine. One of my favourite exercises, especially for the mid back, because it's very hard to stretch. Coco, please. Coco, please. Good girl. So I like to try and flatten my back as much as possible. And on the exhale, again, this is not 10 seconds, this is not a 30-second stretch. On the exhale, I want to fully round my back off as much as I can and try and bring my hips through between my arms. Bring one arm through the other side. I'll do this side so you can see. I'll also do the other side. And then you want to push down, but you want to push that way. And you want to, so you turn your back. So you're stretching the opposite lat and twist your ass round. 30 seconds. So push and then twist your ass away. You want it to stretch here. Grab a door frame, post, whatever. and you want to sit into it, and you want to turn your ass away. It gives a better stretch on the lat. 30 seconds. Same on the other side. Test door frame 90 degrees. You want to lean into it. Same on the other side. It's going to clunk. Oh, there we go. And then I like to go higher, but instead of pushing, I like to sort of pull it. Like you want to sort of go down a bit. That's your pec majors. Pec major. And then shoulders. You want to mobilise your shoulders. Go 10 forward, 10 back, send across. 10 like this. You can do rotate cuffs. I tend to do rotate cuffs, but that's just my preference. You want to mobilise them before stretching them. I start off going like this, and then I push forward. Very careful, your shoulders are very sensitive, especially rotator cuffs. And then I like to, better with a band, but if you don't have a band, it's fine. Again, this is going to do your lat as well. You want to get your armpit to the wall. Same on the other side. And you want to get your arm underneath you. You want to touch try and touch the opposite shoulder blade. And get your hips to the wall. I'll show you the other side. Hips to the wall. This is sort of lats anyway, but I just like doing it as well. It's very good for overhead mobility. You want to try and drive your head to the wall. You feel it through your lats and then your shoulders. Your neck, I like doing my neck. So I tend to sort of find sort of diagonal, whatever, over this way, and then you'll pull towards it, and then you'll push this hand down, and then same on the other side. I'm going to put it to your ear, down, hand down, and then also you can just do that one sideways. And down in front of you. That's pretty much it, guys. There's obviously, it's pretty much it, guys. There's obviously more advanced versions, but they're the basic. That's what's helped me a lot. It's taken about a year, a good year, maybe a year and a half solid, 3 days a week. My mobility was virtually non-existent, and then my mobility is relatively good, especially for someone who weight trains. But it's something you have to keep up, prevent your injuries, increase your lifts. I'm at a bit of a sticking point at the moment. My overhead's struggling at the moment, stuck on about 75, 80 kilo, sort of for about 10. But that's because my mobility's got better. So I've used to press here. Now my mobility's allowed me to press from lower, but it's an added range of motion I'm not used to. But in the coming weeks, it will become more natural again. Need to get more used to it. As before, that's where it would stop. Now I can go pretty much to my chest. And at first I was trying to fight it, but it's making it a lot harder, but now I've just let it come where it wants to come, and it's feeling better. It just takes time. But instead of going back, I've carried on pushing it. I want to be able to press off my chest. But yeah, good solid year of mobility, 3 days a week, prevention of injuries, increase your lifts, all your lifts. It will increase your squat because your lumbar spine rounds. It's called a butt wing. That's your lack of mobility in your lats typically, or your shoulders. Your back's having to compensate to get the depth. But yeah, man, it's you must do it. Not just for injuries and increasing numbers. As someone who weight trains, we tighten the muscle, tighten the muscle, tighten the muscle, so you become more rigid. A lot of bodybuilders, even IFBB pros, you see, I'm not saying we're like anything like that, they're very rigid, they're very tight, they're very restricted, struggle to put on a t-shirt. I'm not saying I'm a gymnast, but I want to be healthy, I want to be active, I want to be mobile. But yeah, if you guys want something more detailed and more in depth, more advanced, whatever, let me know. I can make that for you guys. Catch you guys in a bit.